Polished videos, perfect lives, forget all that. Today we're going to talk about showing up real, but showing up raw. Why? Is because that's how life is. And if you've been going through any type of adversity or struggle, even if you've been through it, you know that it's raw, it's real, it's emotional. That's why they call it a struggle, right? And I've thought about this for a very long time. I'll tell you, I want to now start doing more videos just like this. That's the reason why I started doing those daily walk videos. Now the challenge with that is it's starting to get cold out here. And for anybody who does know me, just know I don't really like the cold. So if ever you see me at an event and I'm somewhere on the East Coast and this is in the winter time, or if I'm somewhere in the Midwest, especially now that I live in the South, trust me, that means I'm there because I care. Or maybe because they pay me a lot of money. But most of the time it's because I care. Because it's definitely, at this stage, I feel like it's not all about the money for me anymore, right? And I wanted to start to create more of these videos. Why is because it's going to allow me to just share some of the things that I've battled in life, a lot of the things that I'm currently still battling in life. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter how successful that someone is, they have mental battles that they go through every single day. That mental battle might not be around financial. That mental battle might be around spiritual and trying to figure out what is their purpose. I'll tell you, I'm very close with my grandma. She now lives with me because we moved her here from Chicago, right? So we wanted to be able to give her a place where she could be around the family, more importantly, be around the kids. And she said to me, this was not too long ago, a couple days ago, but she had said, I'm 80 years old. I have outlived my parents. I've outlived almost all of my friends who were alcoholics and drug addicts, and I've outlived even my daughter, who obviously is my mom. But she shared all of that because she said, I'm still trying to figure out what is my purpose here. She used to drink. I think my grandma's now been 60 years sober. Don't quote me on that, but maybe, because she's 80, so it's probably more like 50 years sober, right? Which is a phenomenal achievement. And, now she's like, I've been through so much and I'm just trying to figure out, God, why am I still here? What is your purpose? What is the vision that you have for me? And I think that there's so much wisdom in that, because for me, even at 37, through losing mom, job, home, right? Losing my two best friends to a swimming accident that I was supposed to be right there at. Being homeless multiple times, but being able to overcome so much adversity, and now being able to have an opportunity to share it back with the world of the things that I did to overcome. I'm constantly asking, is this my purpose, right? Is this the vision that you have for me? Especially when you're someone like, I don't know if anybody else deals with this, but I deal with heavy ADHD. Right. And what do I mean by that? Before it used to always be a joke of like, oh, squirrel, right? But I've been blessed, but I've been blessed to a fault that, like, I always think, and Grant Cardone was like the first person that really articulated this to me when I had him on a podcast. But he was like, I love to do everything. He was like, but I don't know what it is about you, but you got this, like, I could do anything mentality. You got to, like, prove it to the world. He was like, I thought I had a story, but you got this, I can do anything. Mentality. And so I was like, man, that's great and all to hear, especially from someone that's so successful, and that's someone who you look up to, because of some of the values that they have, right? This isn't meant to go all political and things like that. There's things that I disagree with and there's things that I don't, but for what he's achieved and accomplished from where he's come from to now being able to build the real estate empire and impact tens of thousands of people, I can't hate on him for that, right? And so for going back to it, for me, I always have been grateful that I have the skill set that I have. But at the same time, when you have ADHD and when you're constantly out there looking to say, what can I do next? It doesn't allow you to, one, be present, right? And two, it doesn't allow you to stick with anything. And most of the time, if we're trying to be successful at anything in life, it's not about creating another business opportunity. It's about going deeper in the business opportunity that you have right now. And if you say, well, I don't have a business opportunity, you absolutely have a business opportunity right now. If you think about it, you most likely have a job. If you say, yeah, I got a job, well, understand that someone's paying you to do that job, but they're making more from you doing that job than you are, right? I'm not going to bring you onto the team and I'm going to pay you if I can't make a return on my investment from that. So for you right now, you might be thinking, okay, well, what can I do? Well, you can figure out, what are you already gifted and talented at? And if you're like, well, I don't think I'm gifted and talented at anything. Well, what is the thing that you're doing right now? Could you go do that, but do it on your own terms? And the answer is probably yes. Now, is it going to be scary? Absolutely. Is it going to be raw? Absolutely. But you got to understand that life's not polished. We see it every single day from social media, right? People, when I first saw it in the real estate world, where, you know, my whole life when I was thinking, man, I wanted to get into real estate. Now, I didn't grow up thinking, let me just be clear, I didn't grow up thinking I want to get into real estate. What I mean by this is, growing up, one of my favorite shows ever was VH1's The Fabulous Life of, right? And if anybody who's ever seen that, you guys know what I'm talking about. But they had all of the bling, and they would show yachts, and they would show mansions, and, you know, real estate. And I was like, oh man, that would be so dope. And then as I got a little bit older, I was like, man, people are selling these houses, right? $1 million houses. People are selling. And I'm like, man, that would be so dope, right? And then when I got into the business, I was like, oh yeah, I got $20,000, $50,000 commission checks on the way. And while they are there, it's very scary when you first get in, just like any other business venture. Because for me, my broker just handed me a stack of scripts, right? He told me where to go to watch some Mike Ferry and some Tom Ferry, who were big influencers as far as coaches in the real estate industry. And he was like, make some calls and do your thing. If you need me, well, I probably won't be around, but if you need somebody else, we got, you know, other brokers all around the office. So I share that because understand that when you're first getting into any venture, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be raw, right? But also understand that somebody out there has done what you're trying to do. So your main job is to go find you a mentor. Now, what does that mean? That means that you might have to do some things that are uncomfortable, like reaching out to that person saying, hey, can I buy you lunch? And yeah, why do you need to buy me lunch? Because I'm struggling. But what's the positive of that? Everybody likes to help if they can. Especially if you're not asking for any money. If you're saying, hey, I'm struggling, people are going to instantly be, yeah, how can I help? And it might not be that they're going to give their time. It might be that they can give a connection. It might be that they can give a resource for you of how you can get started. And especially if they're not in your own backyard, because sometimes, obviously, you know, let's call a spade a spade. Some people don't want to help people that are in their own city or in their own time or town. And why they say, you know, it's hard to be a prophet in your own city. But some people, you're gonna meet that, but that's okay. Because there's hundreds of people out there who most likely have done what you're already doing, if not thousands. So you just can't be afraid to go out there and reach out to those people, because you'll be able to turn decades, or what will feel like decades when you're first getting a business off the ground, or even trying to scale your business, into months, or even better yet, days. Right? But it takes proximity. It takes being close to somebody who's already been there. And so I love to share that with people, especially when they're first getting started, because we always think that, you know, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. Nobody ever says I'm want to be a solopreneur, right? But when we start out, most of us, 98% of us, we start out as a solopreneur. We're the person that's doing everything. We're doing the accounting. We're doing the marketing. We're doing the tech. We're doing the customer service. We're doing the paperwork. We're doing everything, right? And so what you got to figure out is, how do you graduate from being a solopreneur to an entrepreneur? And most of the time, that's going to take just leadership, right? So what does that mean? That means that you have to be able to get other people to see and believe and buy into your vision. Now, that person does not need to be in your company, but that person needs to want to see you succeed. So if they're invested in your success, you'll be fine, right? Because they're going to make sure that they utilize the resources they already have, the relationship capital they already have. They're going to make sure that if there's a networking event or if there's a potential customer that they want to help to be a part of your success, right? And be a part. That doesn't mean take it over. So you can't have the mindset to say somebody's going to take it over. But at the same time, you're getting into business. It's risky, right? Everything's risky. I think one of my favorite quotes always is by Jim Rohn. Anybody who is a Jim Rohn fan, you know what I'm talking about. But he says, if you think, oh man, I think my microphone just died, but it's all good. But Jim Rohn says, if you think starting a business is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not starting. If you think that investing is risky, wait till you get a bill for not investing. Everything is risky, right? Getting married, it's risky. Having kids is risky, right? Think about life. You're not going to get out alive, right? He says that. And for anybody who's never seen it, I would encourage you to definitely get out there and check that out. But yeah, that's what I wanted to leave you all with today. Remember, everything in life right now, it's raw, it's real, but you got to show up. You got to do it ugly, because if you can, and I know you can, because you have a dream and you're going to take action on that dream. But if you can, I promise you, you're going to start to see the fruits of your labor. And as long as you keep sowing good seeds and you make sure that it's in great soil, which is the community and the people around you, you're going to see amazing results, right? That'll last a lot longer than you. We're talking bamboo trees, baby, right? So that's all. I'm waiting right now. I'm in the line to pick up my beautiful princess. But so there you have it, Dream Builder. This is the type of content that I'm going to continue to bring you all. If you find any value in this, let me know. Do you like this type of content? If so, drop a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this style of a video. And more importantly, let us know, what's your feedback on it in the comments. Maybe somebody else can grow from it, be empowered by it. Because we all got a story. We all got a voice. And that's my whole job, is to make sure that you're telling your story and telling, your truth. So that's all for this one. Remember, no action, you'll never turn that dream into a reality. Drop a comment. Let me know if you like this style of content. We'll catch you on the next one. Let's go.